If you think you need to stare at charts all day to trade crypto profitably, then this video is going to save you a lot of stress. Because most traders don't fail because they're lazy, they don't fail because they're stupid, they fail because they turn trading into a second full-time job. More charts, more strategies, more signals, more decisions, which just leads to more stress. And eventually they burn out, start making emotional decisions, and give back all of the profits that they've made. In this video, I'm going to show you how to start thinking about trading if you've got a family, a job, responsibilities, without needing to live inside the charts. Quick context if you're new here, I'm Aaron from the 3XP Academy, and I help people install a simple, rules-based trading routine into their lives that doesn't require any more than an hour per day. No signals, no hype, no guessing, just a clear, rules-based framework. Have you ever looked into trading and thought, how am I meant to fit this around my life? These guys are spending hours at the charts all day. Maybe you've got a partner, kids, health stuff, or other commitments. Maybe you just live a normal life that doesn't allow you to sit at charts and stare at candles move for 8 hours every day. And the problem is, most trading content makes you feel like that's what you need to do to be successful. You watch one video, they're teaching you scalping. You watch another, and they've got 6 different indicators on their chart. Someone else is telling you to join their free Discord, follow their signals, and you'll be profitable. Little do you know, you end up becoming their exit liquidity. And before long, trading starts to feel like it's this massive thing that's taken over your entire life. It doesn't have to be this way. Now, the biggest lie beginners believe is that more screen time and more trades equals more profits. The more you watch, the more you learn. The more you learn, the better you get. In reality, especially for beginners, more screen time causes more problems than it's worth. The longer you stare at charts, the more emotionally involved you become. You start seeing trades that aren't actually there. You start forcing setups, you start moving stop losses, you start jumping between strategies, and eventually you're not trading a plan anymore. You're just reacting. That's where most beginners get themselves into trouble. They don't have a clear process, so every decision rests on their shoulders. Should I enter? Should I wait? Should I take profit? Should I move my stop? Should I try this other setup? I saw this other indicator someone was using for confluence. Honestly, it's exhausting. And if your trading system requires you to be glued to the screen all day, it's probably not a very good trading system. It's what I'd call a stress machine. So the issue with trading crypto is not that you need to sit at charts all day and watch candles tick. The issue most people have is that they're not trading with clear structure. They're trying to trade with loose ideas they found online. A bit of YouTube, a little bit of Twitter, a little bit of Telegram, a few indicators, a few screenshots, a few random notes they jotted down. That's not a trading system. That's a pile of information. Now, a clear trading process removes all of this confusion. A good beginner trading process should eliminate as many decisions as possible and not multiply them. Because if every trade you're taking comes down to, what do I feel like doing here? You're freelancing. And freelancing in the market is a recipe for disaster because the market will test every vulnerability you have. Impatience, fear, FOMO, greed, revenge trading, second guessing, all of it. That's why beginners need structure to create freedom. Freedom in trading doesn't come from doing whatever you feel is right. It comes from having a strong enough set of rules to stop you from sabotaging yourself. And so the better model is simple. You don't become a full-time trade watcher. You become the operator of a system. That means you're not waking up and wondering, what do I want to trade today? Or what setup am I going to enter based on? You wake up, you look for the pattern, and it's either there or it isn't. Yes or no, nice and simple. And that's the whole shift. When you've got a clear set of rules, a clear pattern that you're looking for, a clear daily routine for you to follow, and a workflow from start to finish. And when you bolt on one single yes or no process, trading becomes far simpler. And it's important to note that you also need to have a single point in time where you walk away from the charts for the day. Whether you found a trade, you haven't found a trade, whether it was a winner or a loser. Because, and I learned this one the hard way, without a clear shut-off point each day, trading bleeds out and consumes your entire life. You get into bad habits. You're checking charts at work. You're checking charts at dinner. You're checking charts when you're out with your family or your partner. For me, it even got to a point where I was checking charts while I was in bed. And at this point, trading is not creating freedom. It's creating a prison. It's constantly stealing your attention and your presence away. And that's not the point of starting trading. The system should fit your life. It should not consume your life. So what does this actually look like? Now, at a high level, it's actually quite simple. For me, I sit down at the same time each day to execute my daily trading workflow. For others, they like to vary the times they trade. It doesn't really matter. You've just got to figure out what works for you. So you open the same workspace, you open the same watch list. You're not looking at 100 different charts and you're not looking for 100 different things. You're looking for one specific setup on a given number of charts. And then you run your clear set of rules. Is the pattern there? Yes or no? Is the market structure presenting a valid setup? Yes or no? Is the setup clean? Yes or no? Are the levels clear? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, then you don't trade it. That's it. You don't need to force trades when you've got a clear system in place. You especially don't go hunting, looking for trades because you're bored or because you couldn't find one for the day. And you don't start clicking through random coins and random charts and looking to force a setup. You walk away. And that is one of the biggest points that beginners underestimate. Not trading is also a successful trading day if it fits within the parameters of the system. Some days, as you may well have learned, the best trade is not to take a trade. Without rules, no trade days can feel like you're missing out on something and you start to get things like FOMO. But with a system, a no trade day is a successful day. It's just a part of the process. So anyway, if you found a setup for the day, you define the entry, you define the stop, you define your target, ensure that this trade fits within your risk management parameters, you place the trade, you log it, and you walk away. You're done for the day. That's it. That's the whole model. Scan, plan, execute if valid, log, walk away, shut it down. That is very fundamentally different from sitting and staring at a chart all day or trying to force a trade. And this is exactly why I built the 3XP method the way that I did. The point is to take trading out of your head and put it into a clear, simple, repeatable process. One pattern, one rules-based daily workflow, one clear 60-minute period where you trade each day. No signals, no guessing, no sitting at charts all day. You either have the setup there or you don't. And inside the 3XP Academy, we install the full operating system built around that. The pattern, the blueprint, the daily routine, clear risk rules, your journal, the review process, and the support structure. Because the truth is, beginners do not need another strategy. You don't need to improve your entry. You need clear structure that you can follow day in, day out. And most importantly, that structure has to fit into everyday life. Because I don't know anybody who has 8 hours to sit and stare at a chart all day, nor do I know anyone who wants to. They've got jobs, partners, family, responsibilities. Most beginners just need something clear, simple, and repeatable. And that's the whole point of the 3XP Academy. So at this point, a lot of people ask me, what about signals? That fits almost all of the criteria that you've just laid out. Here is why I did not build the 3XP method around signals. Signals feel easier at the start. I get it. I've done them as well. Someone tells you when to buy, when to enter, when to exit, what your stop loss price is. It's all laid out for you. But here's the problem. Signals do not give you the skill. They build dependency on the person who's giving you those signals. The problem with this is that because you have not built the skill, you do not have an understanding of the system that sits behind the signals. The moment the signal goes against you, you panic because you don't actually understand the process behind the trade. And for most people, the goal is not to depend on somebody else for their trading. The goal is to know exactly what it is that you're looking for, know exactly what it is that invalidates the premise, and know exactly what they need to do next. You need to be able to execute the trades without needing someone to hold your hand every time the market goes against you. That's the core shift where you go from guessing to operating. So anyway, to wrap up today's video, the main point is this. You do not need to stare at charts all day in order to trade crypto profitably. But you do need structure. You need a clear plan. You need rules. You need a routine. You need clear risk management. And you need the discipline to walk away when your setup isn't present in the market of the day. More screen time is not the answer. More or better signals is not the answer. A better process is the answer. And once you have that process, trading becomes far simpler and calmer, much cleaner and easier to fit around real life. So if you want the basic structure of how I implement this myself and how I help my students do the same thing, you can click the link in the description to grab your free copy of the 60-minute daily trading blueprint. It'll show you the framework for building a calmer, simpler trading structure that's built around everyday life and doesn't require you to sit at the charts all day. And if you want to see the full 3XP method, then you can click the link in the description that'll take you to a page that explains the full details of the 3XP Academy. But go through, grab that blueprint first if you haven't already, and that's it. Speak soon. See you in the next one.